Welcome back to the Sanctuary, Final Fantasy XIV, a realm reborn in our trip down memory lane. Cruisnik X here. Let's go over the rules right quick. I'm doing this as New Game Plus on my main character, Chris Valentine, as Warrior, Meteor's job from the promotional trailer. We are doing this through duty support or solo. And finally, I'm using quest or patch level appropriate gear. Last episode, we were on the hunt for the heretics, and we found the merchant and the heretic, one of the heretics. The merchant, in fact, was one employed by the Ivy as well. So we're trying to get information out of everyone. So, well, let's just get right down to it with the next quest in our endeavor: Tendrils of Intrigue. Captain Ilbad, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could tell us naught that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Aunt Ivy's employ. From him, we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which we would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Forton. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved, at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flame. If you consider then that our investigation is known only to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrow. You mean to say that the agent is among Raubon's inner circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flame's establishment? Here's the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked, and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Ul'dah's was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa Lominsa and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Ul'dah's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymaster. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raubon faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed. And given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now. Aye. The immortal flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, it was not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Nail Vandonis' ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Raubon with an army. It is but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Ahem. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray, continue with your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Emmerich informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully, the information will be of some use to the Ishgardian. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Chris. As the realm's stoutest champion, it is only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path into a sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problem. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Nofika's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. Alright, off to New Gridania. I don't know why I decided to go to Mordona of all places. Oh, I was getting the last of my gear, I think. Yep. Out for now. My thanks for coming, Chris. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Stand. Alright, let's, there she is. Let's go in.
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Ooh, spit on your grave, why don't you?
The Garlean Empire had died with him.
I didn't even notice that in the first... I didn't even notice that in the first couple of playthroughs. It's just not noticeable. Now I'm back on PC and it's noticeable.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
Yep.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Right. So, what do we do? It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Laminsons, for instance. Though Admiral Melvib outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. In the likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Uldan society, Teleji Adeleji, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders, whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle talk. Let us speak of a more pressing matter. The Ivy. Since we spoke at the observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Chris. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest, and he will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Kurthus, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Oh, wrong way. Again. Bed? My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Listen well. The spy we have been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Eline Royale, Raubon's second in command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with a polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest-ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Raubon chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The Monetarists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And 'twas no secret that they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the Alliance. Yet the Monetarists did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Royale was appointed on the spot. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the Monetarists? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Royale's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Raubon attended the Council of Alliance Leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flame. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless. On some pretense. She is up to something. Mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames records for evidence of Rahiel's guilt. And if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, the docks, every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. And I rely upon your eyes, Scion. You have my thanks. Let us go then, and take care not to alert our quarry. Alright, let's move. And we're just gonna quickly mute the performance stuff. There's the alert. Rael is headed in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. With me, Scion. Alright. No bad. So, Rael has entered the Carline canopy. Meeting someone, perchance? Or could it be she means to board an airship? Pray, look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something. Ifemi is her name. I shall remain here in case Rael appears. No sign. Ifemi? Chris Valentine! Such an unexpected pleasure! What brings you here? Ahem. A social visit, you say? How pleasant! No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. Part of me wants to switch to my scholar just so I have the extra sprint. But, oh well. Ilbad? Oh, a cutscene instead. Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you are sure she did not board an airship? Did not come back out either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? The Roost! How could I forget? Vulgar. Oh. Different lines now. Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Muntui tonic? Cup of day abused the man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait. That necklace. You are Shinobi of Doma. Woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12 for the Domans. Were it not for their unique talents, Rael would have disappeared without a trace. Thank God we got that early, because we had to run through the, as you can see. We're just gonna keep on moving. Our hunt leads us to the East Shroud, Scion. I suggest we follow Rael's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Bloom Pier. Alright, we're off to the Lancers Guild. While Bayan keeps on searching. And there's the Doman merchant. I am glad we didn't have to deal with that shit. Alright, let's fast forward. This way, my friends. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorne Hut. If Rael is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Garlean masters there. An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In so doing, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Rael would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Thanalan without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. It is for this reason, I believe, that she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. The Elazin are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hawthorne's hut and catch Rael in the act. We did get the explanation before, but a lot of these lines have changed, and a lot of the quests that we had to do, or a lot of objectives that we had to do, have been since removed. Like, we no longer have to go to Quarry Mill to defend the to protect the jamming device. All we have to do is head to the Hawthorne Hut, which is good, because going to Quarry Mill to go back there to go to Omdapor Keep, counterintuitive, all things considered. All right, let's talk to Yugiri. My people report that our quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The ivy returns to the knolls whence she came. Perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen shall lie in wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Yep. All right. We'll fly our way there. A lot of dialogue has changed in this. Just beyond, Rael is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer. An Imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it! With me! Flame Marshal Aline Rael, you are under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool! Damnation! Not happening. You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle. If you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? You would arrest me for strolling in the Twelves Wood? When last I looked, that was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then? Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Oh, my video skipped on that one. Dropped frames all around. All right. Even a warrior of Rail's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. Even with the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Uldar will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Chris? So the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray, do not let me keep you. Fear not. My countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. And speaking of talents, you have been training in the art as a shinobi, have you not? The change in your bearing is quite evident. To me, at least. I look forward to seeing you in action. Till next time, my friend. Now, that little bit of dialogue is different from the one I have in the video only because Chris Valentine has completed the Ninja Quest line for A Realm Reborn. But that is neither here nor there right now. Let's head back to the Rising Stones. Waking Sands, hanging. And this is where we crashed. All right, let's talk to Minfilia. I was playing on PS4 at the time. Welcome back, Chris. I understand that Alphino had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Eileen Rahil. I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must entrust to the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. And with that, we will take a quick break. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links provided. We will see you in a bit.